Hello and welcome to my second episode on my road to a 315 bench press. So my main focus of this episode was to hopefully hit a new PR of 245, which I did not end up getting. I wasn't really expecting to get it after PRing only 3 days ago at 240, but how my program kind of has been working for me is I failed my attempt, and I ended up usually getting it the next time. So I knew I kind of had to go for it eventually. So just kind of throwing up 245 today just to kind of get myself and my muscles just kind of used to attempting the weight, physically and mentally. So for my warm up, you saw me do 135 for a few reps, just making sure everything feels good and light for the most part. And then here I throw in 20 more for 155. Everything's still feeling fairly good. It's going smooth, no pain. Next step is 185, and to add some more weight and just get my muscles used to throwing up a few more pounds. So make sure I'm nice and controlled, full range of motion, no pain, everything's smooth. Next up, I put on 205, so I'm kind of approaching my max. I wish I would have did one more rep here. I feel like that actually would have helped a lot. So I only do one, but I feel like if I would have did one more, it would have activated hopefully a few more muscles and get a little more blood flowing. So on to my PR attempt at 245. It felt super heavy coming off right away, and that usually kind of fucks with how I think. So I push off here, already feeling kind of heavy, decent on the way down, and I just hit that wall right away. And fortunately, I had my good friend spotting me, so that could have ended a lot worse. But I'm glad I got off my chest, because I think it would have been a lot worse mentally if I just had to sit there. So I go back down to 225 just because I wanted to push something fairly heavy. So the first rep, I end up exerting a lot of energy when I PR, especially when I fail. So failing that 245 does take a lot out of me. And I'm probably sitting right now between 3 or 4 minutes between each one of these sets. I'm just waiting for my spotter to do his own workout and come back, and then me getting ready physically and mentally for each set. So here I believe this is 210, which I'm able to get a few reps out of, which actually felt really good. So I was super happy with this. I figured I'd go till I used my spotter. You see my feet kind of compensate there. I would have been in deep trouble if he wasn't there. So on to my next exercise. Unfortunately, the cables it was a very busy day in the gym, so the cable was being occupied, so I had to improvise and move on to, I'm just doing incline dumbbell flies. I don't do a whole lot of, but every now and then it's nice to kind of do and change it up a little bit. So I have a fairly light weight here. I believe this is only 25s for my first set. And I only end up doing 2 sets to start out. Just trying to get a nice stretch on the chest, and again, giving that push rest for my dumbbells, which I were planning on going heavy for. See, I forgot to make an edit in the video here. So I think next up, I go on to, I believe it's 35 for my next fly set. I should see here any second. Yep, so these are the 35s. Which aren't too bad. I mean, flies do take a lot out of you. It just gives a nice, good stretch on the chest, helps it grow. It's kind of a change up for me after doing cable flies is my second set for the past probably 5 months now, so it's a little different. Like I said, I don't do these too much, but they're good to do. I used to go a lot heavier on them, but I don't really feel the need to anymore. So I push the bench down, and I move on to just flat press. And the first set here, I think these are 60s, the warm up. A little heavier than last time. I didn't go as heavy as I went last time on dumbbells, but I wanted to just get a bunch of reps today because I didn't max the PR, so I wanted to just see if I could just tank out as much as I could. So the 60s were fairly light, no real problems there. I kind of let myself know that I can kind of keep going up and attempt whatever I would like to, hopefully 100s, but this kind of depends how I'm feeling. So next up we have our, I want to say these were 75s, which is a good weight for me. I think going back 5 months, I can only do these 4 or 5 times if I was fresh. So the program has been working very well, as I can see. I have a lot more strength, a lot more endurance. I'm able to keep putting up the weight repetitively, which is nice. It's been helping me really grow and maintain. So this is my heaviest set here for today, which I did 90s, which I regret not going to 100 because these actually felt fairly light. I think I do 6 reps. I'm just still getting used to the 100s after I do a heavy bench, which I think next time I do chest, I'm going to make an attempt to do them. I have to start throwing them up, or I think I'm going to be sitting at 240, 245 for a while if I don't keep pushing it. So these are the 90s here, which aren't terrible. Yeah, I don't start shaking until the 3rd or 4th rep here. And I set them down. Not too bad. It definitely takes a lot out of my push though. So I wanted to do a heavier pause reps this workout, opposed to my last one. I think I'm really going to start to incorporate them a lot more. I really never do them, but I think I felt a lot more sore after doing them, so I'm going to keep up, and I'm going to keep trying to do heavy. So as you see, I'm doing 185 here, which is a lot different than just going straight up and down. It's those few extra seconds you have it sitting on your chest. It's pretty brutal. It makes it a lot tougher to press, but it definitely feels good. So 185 felt good here. I wanted to see if I could do 205. I've never tried this, but since I am pushing a little more heavier now, I wanted to give it a shot. So I got a spider here just in case. I don't know with these pause reps. I'm still getting familiar with them. Yeah, that didn't go. This one didn't go very as well as planned, but I wanted to see if I could just do normal reps right after, which was not the greatest idea because I did exert a ton of energy failing on that 205. But I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to fail. I mean, you'll still break down your muscle fibers if you're pushing lights out, and you're using your spotter, so it is good. So I jumped down a lot of weight. I want to get some successful reps off this, so I just know it was a good set. So I go down to 155, and like I said, I'm still familiarizing myself with the pause reps. I mean, I've probably only done a few hundred of them the past few months, so I just want to keep taking it out to the point where I can get that 205 successfully through my workout, and just hopefully keep going up. I mean, if there's a point where I can start pause repping at 225, I'll know I've made some significant progress. So up next, I wanted to keep it moving forward. I knew my spotter had to go do his set, so I just rip off the 10s and I throw on 135, knowing I can do it safely without needing a spotter. I kind of get a good feel for it and complete the set. So I'm going to keep it moving fairly fast here. This far into my workout, my intervals are getting kind of short. Typically under a minute and a half if I can. So I've gotten the habit of finishing on 135 for a lot of things, kind of like where I start. Ideally, I'd like to start starting my lifts at 150 or 155 and then kind of ending there, so I don't have to touch 135 anymore. I'm curious to see if that will help impact the workout at all if I don't ever touch the lighter weight. So I think within a month I'm probably going to start doing that, just starting at a heavier weight and finishing there. So next up, I burn down on push-ups. Let's keep the chest just moving. It's just a good thing. I've always kind of ended on them. It seems like a true way to kind of finish out because it's just your body weight. Again, you'll see me doing the staggered one foot over each other because I feel like it puts more weight on the top portion of your body. And I always finish with both planted. I think I ended up doing about 27 or 28, which is a pretty good number for me, being this far into my workout. And then because the cables were occupied, I decided to just go to the cable or the chest fly machine I figured I'd wanted to get my flies in before the workout was over, and since my push was coming to an end on my strength, I think this was a good way to burn out. I could have had a better camera angle, but I'm still getting used to putting down the camera and just kind of figuring out different spots in the gym where I can place it. I think in the future I'm going to start having it so you can see the weight always too, because I kind of do forget. I think I started at 87.5 on this machine for that first rep, and I think I just go down in increments of 10. And I simulate the same thing but on the cable flies, where I try to do close followed by medium followed by a full range of motion. It's just a really great way for me to stretch my chest and really kind of push it to my limit. So I do enough of these until I physically can't pull my arms closer anymore. I think I go all the way down to 25, which is incredibly light, but I really go until I can't do it anymore. So I think it helps just really breaking down your chest and, you know, keeping it grow. So I think this is coming to a close now on my second chest workout, and I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.